For the Future of Fashion's brief, I explored the concept and associations linked with Doomsday. To explore this, I chose 3 touchpoints to inspire my design development. These were unconventional fastenings, sci-fi as a genre, and fossils, in particular ammonite. I chose a hero garment that reminded me of these fossils, and then I made some gathered samples to collage on Photoshop. The week I started to research for this process, the Doomsday clock was moved closer to midnight. This clock is a visual representation of global stability. The closer it gets to midnight, the more risk we face. The significance of this being is that it's now the closest it's ever been to midnight. This research around sustainability reminded me of oarfish. Oarfish are nicknamed Doomsday fish. They're greatly associated with the forthcoming of a disaster, almost like an omen. Their sightings are becoming a lot more frequent due to global warming. This train of thought led me to think about portrayal of monsters in folklore compared to in movie franchises. This led me to research the Dune franchise. Dune was one of the first environmental sci-fi films and books. Its political and environmental agenda criticizes society and alludes to the future damages of climate change and major struggles over resources, especially politically. Other than taking inspiration from just the message, I decided to look into the costume design. For my final touch point, I took a lot of inspiration from designer Shapova Lewena. I started to explore the idea of using hardware in my own work, taking photos of hardware in my own clothes and shoes. At this stage, I started to develop the idea that I wanted to 3D print a fastening for my garment. I ended up collaborating with level 4 games art student Kavian Kitchen to work on a fossil-shaped buckle to incorporate into my design. I got an induction in the innovation zone on the equipment. This inspired me to make my outfit waterproof. Knowing this, I started to consider how I could use second-hand materials and a designer label that repurposes military textiles like parachutes. From this, I started looking for a second-hand tent to deconstruct, to identify my chosen fabrics and allocate which fastenings I wanted in each of my designs. Once I chose my final design, I began to sample and construct my toile. To embrace the sustainability, I only used half scale and then used Gerber to make any adjustments. I used a single ply cutter to cut all my fabrics due to the limited amount of tent fabric. I was able to cut 3 panels from the tent and then use a lay plan to plan all the placement of each of the pieces.